What's up, everybody? This is Kayana Miller from the Hear Me Out Sports Podcast. We're talking Week 9 running backs. Who to start, who to sit. Let's get to it. All right, running backs. That's what we're talking about. We're going to review our Week 8 picks. How did we do? Overall, 65%. So pretty good. Hits. We told you to start 21 guys. We got 13 right. That's 62%. The big misses we had, Jonathan Taylor did bad. Gus Edwards was honestly looking good. He got hurt in the fourth quarter on a drive that I honestly thought he was going to score a touchdown on, so we missed there. And then Raheem Mostert, hey, he betrayed me. I told you to sit him the previous week. He did great. And then I told you to start him this week, and he did bad. So Raheem Mostert betrayed me. Now I don't feel any allegiance to him, so we'll see what happens going forward. Misses, I told you to sit 25 guys. Out of those, 17 were worth sitting, so I was right on 17 out of 25. The big misses, Deontay Foreman went off, 3 touchdowns. Jamal Williams, I didn't think he'd be playing as much as he did with DeAndre Swift supposedly back, especially off the injury report. But hey, Jamal Williams did awesome. And then Tony Pollard. At the time when I put it out, I thought Zeke was going to play, and Zeke didn't play. So, big miss on my part, Tony Pollard. Close calls, Kenneth Walker missed by a point, and Joe Mixon by half a point of starts. So could have been a little bit better. Could have been 15 out of 21, but we'll take it. 65% overall. Moving on to Week 9, we're looking at bye teams. So the Cleveland Browns, the Dallas Cowboys, Denver Broncos, New York Giants, San Francisco 49ers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are all on bye this week. So that's 6 teams. It's quite a few. Almost a fifth of the league right there. So important running backs, obviously Nick Chubb and a lot of people in 12-team leagues, especially playing Kareem Hunt. Both those guys out. Zeke and Tony Pollard both out. Denver Broncos running backs are bad, so who cares? The Giants, Saquon Barkley's out. And Steelers, I told you not to draft Najee Harris. He's been bad all year, so if you're still playing him, make sure you get him out of your lineup. And then the Niners, obviously Christian McCaffrey is legit, so get all those guys out of your lineup. Moving on to our Thursday night game, that's the Eagles and the Texans. So Eagles, starting Miles Sanders. Texans' run defense is absolutely terrible. I was looking at some statistics today, and if it was a single running back playing against the Texans all year, 17 games, they would rush for over 2,000 yards and 27 touchdowns. So, they're just getting gutted right now on the ground, and I expect that to continue. Miles Sanders is going to have a good day today. Dameon Pierce on the Texans side, even with all the wide receivers out and in flux, I'm not starting Dameon Pierce. That's just more reason for the Eagles to focus primarily on the run and shutting it down. I think that the Texans are going to have a hard time moving the ball all night. Eagles defense is legit. Dameon Pierce, if he didn't fall into the end zone last week, then he wouldn't have been worth a start. So I don't expect that to be better this week against an Eagles team who's got one of the best defenses in the league and with no wide receiver weapons for the Texans. I don't expect that to be better for Dameon Pierce. So sitting him. Chargers, Falcons, starting Austin Eckler. He's your most likely RB1. Purely off receiving, again, I've tweeted out some stuff about how, as a running back, purely running, Austin Eckler has been truly terrible this year, but his receiving is off the charts. 12 targets, 13 targets most games. He's getting 10 catches, so he's giving you enough receiving volume, more than enough receiving volume to be worth starting and to be in the top 5 running backs right now, even with a bye. So, yeah, Austin Eckler for sure starting. Atlanta Falcons, I'm starting Tyler Algier if he's the starter. So if Cordero Patterson plays and starts, I'm starting Cordero. But if Algier plays and starts, then I'm starting Tyler Algier. Whoever the starter is, whoever's getting the bulk of those carries, I'm going to play against the Chargers because the Chargers' run defense is similar to last year, pretty terrible. So, yep, starting whoever is the running back for the Falcons this week. Dolphins, Bears, sitting Raheem Mostert. You let me down last week. I don't think it's going to be better against the Bears, who, if they're okay at anything, which they're not, I think they'll at least be able to slow down Mostert a little bit, but they're going to get absolutely destroyed by Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So I don't expect much from Raheem Mostert, and I don't expect much from Jeff Wilson because he just got to Miami. So I'm not starting either of those guys. On the Bears side, I'm actually starting Khalil Herbert over David Montgomery. Khalil Herbert has been getting more run. He averages more points a touch, more points and opportunity than David Montgomery. I think Herbert has another good game against the Dolphins, but I don't think Montgomery does. I think that Herbert gets the one touchdown between the 2 running backs, and that Montgomery is a sit this week. Panthers, Bengals, I'm starting Deontay Foreman. He proved that he can be a workhorse for the Panthers. I think they'll keep feeding him the ball, even though P.J. Walker, I guess, in my opinion, he honestly hasn't looked good. I think that specifically in the fourth quarter, he looked good last week against Atlanta, but for 3.5 quarters, he was absolutely terrible. So I don't think that their passing game is completely there yet, although it is improved. I expect D'Onta Foreman to get a lot of carries against the Bengals team that can't stop the run. So starting D'Onta Foreman, Chuba Hubbard, I don't care if he plays or not. I'm not starting him. Bengals side, Joe Mixon, I'll start him. He's been pretty bad this year, but he keeps falling into the end zone or getting enough catches to warrant starts. So I'm starting Joe Mixon against the Panthers, but I wouldn't be surprised if he actually doesn't have as good a game. And Sama JP Ryan, obviously sitting on the Bengals side. Packers line, starting Aaron Jones, who's the clear RB1 over there in Green Bay, against a really bad Lions team. And still the Packers, especially at the trade deadline, they didn't add any receiving weapons, so Aaron Jones is going to get plenty of passing volume still. A.J. Dillon sitting. Detroit Lions, DeAndre Swift, reports last week were that he was going to be healthy and everything. He wasn't even on the injury report, but he wasn't, and he didn't play very much. If he didn't score his one touchdown, then he would have been an absolute bust last week. So happy he scored a touchdown, but I'm going to actually sit DeAndre Swift this week. I'm going to sit DeAndre Swift until I feel comfortable with his health. Something's going on there where the Lions aren't giving us all the information. So sitting DeAndre Swift, I'm starting Jamal Williams against the Green Bay Packers. Colts, sitting Jonathan Taylor, sitting Deion Jackson, sitting Zach Moss. Taylor might not even play, so who cares? But no matter who the starter is for the Colts this week, I'm sitting them against the Patriots. I think the Patriots, they stopped the run extremely effectively. I don't think that any of the running backs are going to have a good game against New England this week. And on the Patriots side, I'm starting Ramondre. He's your RB3 over the last 3 weeks, and he continues it here against the Indianapolis Colts. Damian Harris has lost his starting job due to injury. Sad for him, but I'm leaving him on the bench. Bills, I'm not starting any of the running backs this week. I know they added Nyheim Hines. He's not been there long enough to really get any flow in the offense, so he's entirely touchdown dependent, and even then, I don't think he'll get enough volume to warrant starting. Devin Singletary, I'm sitting as well. I think the Bills mostly throw the ball. The Jets defense is pretty legit. They're good at stopping the run, and I really like the Jets DBs, but if you saw my wide receiver video, which was posted earlier, I think Stephon Diggs has a good game, and he scores at least one touchdown, if not more. So I expect the Bills to mostly be throwing like they have been all year. On the Jets side, I'm sitting Michael Carter. I'm sitting James Robinson. They're going to be trailing. They're going to have to throw the ball. I don't think either of those running backs are worth starting this week. Vikings, I'm starting Dalvin Cook against the Commanders. I mean, Dalvin Cook, I'm going to start him every week anyway, but against the Commanders, who aren't very good at stopping the run. I know that Chase Young has been designated to return, but I don't expect much. I don't even know if he's going to play this game, and I don't expect the Commanders to be able to stop Dalvin Cook. Commander side, I think that they're going to be trailing and be throwing the ball. That helps Antonio Gibson a lot. So I'm starting Antonio Gibson. He's the better running back anyway, but again, as talked about on this show previously, Ron Rivera, for whatever reason, hates Antonio Gibson and loves Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson, well, it's a great story, come back from gunshot wounds and stuff. He hasn't been effective when he's had any touches. And so I'm sitting Brian Robinson for sure, starting Antonio Gibson this week in a game I think that the Commanders are going to have to throw to have any hope in. Raiders, Josh Jacobs going to have a bounce back game. He's top 5 right now in running backs as far as points, fantasy points per touch, and I expect that to be a bounce back here for him. Travis Etienne has shown when he's had his opportunities that he's legit. He's an RB1, so for sure starting Travis Etienne against the Raiders, whose defense has let them down every game every game this year so far. So definitely starting both running backs for both teams this week. Seahawks, Kenneth Walker III, team that likes to run the ball against an Arizona Cardinals team that's not good at stopping it. For sure, starting Kenneth Walker. On the Cardinals side, they're pretty much just throwing, especially since DeAndre Hopkins got back. So they're just throwing the ball. I'm sitting all the running backs on the Cardinals. Rams, sitting Darrell Henderson. I'm going to consider starting Kyren Williams when he gets back, but it looks like the Rams just don't like any of their running backs right now, so I'm not starting any of them until further notice. The Buccaneers side, Leonard Fournette, I'm going to give him another chance this week. He keeps being starter worthy, getting those 13 points, but it's almost entirely touchdown dependent. He's been pretty ineffective as far as gaining yards on his opportunities. So I'm going to give him another start this week, but I'm a little concerned. Rachaad White is slowly starting to get more opportunity for the Bucs, and if he keeps looking explosive like he has been, and Leonard Fournette keeps looking kind of lethargic, then Rachaad White could end up vulturing a lot more carries. So for now, I'll still leave Lenny in, and I'm sitting Rachaad White. Titans, Derrick Henry must start. Not talking about that too much. Kansas City Chiefs, I'm sitting all their running backs. They're going to throw a lot this week, and they're going to try to really dice up this Titans team. So I don't expect the running backs to really do much at all. So I'm sitting all the Chiefs running backs. And then last game of the week, it's the Monday night game. Ravens versus Saints. On the Ravens side, whoever the starting running back is, be it Gus Edwards or Kenyon Drake, is who I'm playing. And whoever is not starting is who I'm sitting. So I like Gus Edwards way more than I like Kenyon Drake, but I think that Gus Edwards might not play this game. They have a bye next week, the Ravens do. So Gus Edwards, they might give an extra 2 weeks to recover from his hamstring by giving him this week off. So I don't know if Gus Edwards plays or not. If he does, I'm for sure starting him. If not, then I'll start Kenyon Drake. On the Saints side, Alvin Kamara had a great game last week. The Ravens can't stop the run or the pass, so for sure starting Alvin Kamara, who's good at running the ball as well as catching the ball. And I'm sitting Mark Ingram. And that wraps it up for our week 9. As always, we want to hear your feedback. Let me know if I've let you down in the past, and let me know what your league fees were, and I can help you cover those for sure. We're here to help people, so I'm not just trying to just get I'm trying to get famous or anything like that. We're just trying to help people get better at their fantasy leagues and to have some insight as to why you should start some players, why you should maybe leave some other players on the bench. Give that kind of perspective. I've been getting a lot of DMs on start sit questions, been getting a lot of questions on Twitter, and I love it. I love answering them. So keep sending them my way, and I'm going to do my best to respond as fast as I can. But you can ask those people that I've responded to. I'm getting back to them pretty quick. So definitely willing to help in any way that I possibly can. Love doing what we do. Love being able to kind of give some advice here. If you're asking about this filthy mustache that I got going right now, No Shave November out here supporting. So grow those mustaches, grow those beards. My job prevents me from growing a beard, so I'm just growing the nastiest mustache you've ever seen. But love what we do. Get at us, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. Let us know what you think. And as always, when in doubt, hear me out.